Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first IWC show of 2019. Yeah, it's a new year, and joining me tonight is Chucks, Will, and returning once again, Mr. Beans on Toast. How's it going?
Hello!
Hey!
We missed that.
We really missed that.
That's a weird thing to miss, but hello again.
Well, it is. And the burning question is, how was your penis reduction surgery? Have you recovered fully?
What? I beg your pardon.
I'm happy.
Did you
that
not know
said
that's why Beans was off all this time? He had to have it shortened because it was just getting in the way. At least that's what I've heard.
I'm just so happy that you're talking about a reduction.
I thought it was the other operation he was having. He's now known as Martina.
No.
Oh, God. What the hell kind of conversations have you
I
had
don't think
while
it
I've been
was-
gone?
I don't think it was that severe a reduction.
Wow.
Is the surgery because of why he's 2 points behind the lead in the prediction?
Am I 2 points behind?
Yes.
Ooh.
You were 1 point behind for a little while, but
I seem to remember I screwed up on the last pay-per-view, I think.
A
Because
little bit.
I went with Vince's thinking and then realised that obviously at this point he thought, oh no, we need to change things up. Because
You
we're
shake
tank-
things up again.
yeah,
Goddamn,
we're tank-
pal.
Then now I'm forever, eh, Vince?
Ho, ho, ho.
God.
Anna? A couple of weeks late.
Yeah.
Why was he Santa?
I really don't know.
Why not?
And then why did he bring up, like, Bad Santa, the movie?
Because he's an alcoholic.
That might actually explain a lot, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Happy New Year, guys! And did you have a nice Christmas?
Yeah.
It was alright, yeah. Nothing too extravagant.
Yeah, same.
That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice to have some time off. You know, see some people. I ate a lot of chocolate this year, like more than I've eaten since. I don't know. I must have been very young when there was that much chocolate around. But for some reason, it was just endless. There was days where that's all I ate until the point where I just really wanted to eat some broccoli. You ever had like a craving for broccoli? No, me
No.
neither. But this
No.
year,
Damn.
this year it happened.
What's happened to you in the last few weeks, Chugs? 1 minute you're talking about great intros, next minute you're dying for
Hey,
broccoli.
that was off air. That's private. That's between me and you.
Oh, sorry.
I hate that intro.
I broke the fourth wall.
Didn't you have like a
It-
meltdown last week or something as well?
Did you?
I
Did you?
don't remember. Or not last week, but like a couple weeks
I was
ago.
just going to say, if you don't remember, is it possible that you're the one that had the breakdown?
That's possible, yeah. That's very
Was,
possible.
was it a collective breakdown? Because I would understand with what you've had to review over the last.
Oh my god.
All gone mad.
Damn. It's been bad.
Yeah, it's not been great the past few months and maybe even beyond that.
Since about November, I'd say it's been
Yeah.
really bad.
It's been noticeable.
I mean, I went to the tapings in Manchester and they were really poor. The worst have been to the. If I wasn't at the show, I'd have probably switched over.
That's what I always worry about when they
That's
come
what
over here. I want to go, but the last few times they've come here, the shows haven't been that good.
Yeah.
And even the ones that I've gone to, I've enjoyed when I was there, and then watched them back or read reviews of it, and everyone hated it. Being there does make it better. So if you went and you still think it sucked, then
That's where I went
Yeah.
wrong. I was trying to change channel on the Titantron in the arena.
Oh my god.
Of course, you were there when you being. I keep forgetting you were there as well.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
We've not had a chance to talk since we returned.
No. Well, it was a chaos time. It's. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Raw SmackDown wasn't too bad. Raw was poor. Raw was really poor, especially when they got back to the US and they completely rewrote everything that had happened. The whole Survivor Series team got done. The whole thing with Shane, it was you just kind of forgot about they ever came over here.
Yeah, I was going to say the Manchester show was the last time when I was actually interested in Dean Ambrose.
Yeah,
because
come back.
He just turned on Seth the week before.
Oh right.
Yeah.
And then he, it might not have been. Yeah, it was. It was the week afterwards because Seth Rollins came out and called him out. Oh no, sorry, he had a match with someone. I can't remember who it was. He lost the tag titles. That was it, didn't he? He had a match against AOP, and then afterwards Ambrose just came out and he was like, "Do you want to know why I did it?" And then he just like DDT'd him and then walked out. And I was like, "Yes, that's good. Like, don't give it away yet." And then next week he just started going on about everyone's smell, and it was like, "What are you doing? What the fuck?"
See, I thought that was all right. I was still with it when he was saying
Oh,
these people
God,
stink, because I
no.
thought that would be like a psychological thing, that they were making him actually crazy and he could smell something that wasn't there. You know? I'm sure that's a thing.
No.
That, like, he's so twisted that. Right, I'm looking it up. Olfactory hallucination. Yes, that's a thing. That's a thing.
Yeah.
What, you really?
Phantosmia.
Do you think that if you just said that sentence to Vince McMahon, he'd have any idea what you were on about? Because he was the one that made that decision. You know what, Dean? Everywhere it's gonna stink. It's gonna stink like shit. And you're gonna smell it, and you're gonna blame everyone for shitting everywhere.
Phantosmia is the medical term for an imaginary odor. It's also known as an olfactory hallucination. The smell is unique to the person and is usually unpleasant. There you go, spoiling the taste of any food or drink consumed. So that's a thing. So I thought, like, maybe he's gone crazy. He thinks everyone smells, which is kind of weird, but whatever. He thinks everyone smells.
Yeah?
And he now hates the fans because, like, they're all toxic and stuff.
I just had this image of Dean Ambrose stood at like the buffet line and catering at the back and smells his food, and he just goes,
Ugh.
"This food smells like shit."
That's better than what they've been doing with him.
Waiting for some potatoes with his gas mask on.
Yeah. Well, I was fine with the smell thing, but the gas mask. And who are the other guys in gas masks?
Yeah, I mean, you could always just say, who's the extras tagged up with so-and-so. I think that's, a blanket statement. But, like, did he really need, like, an army of people in gas masks? Like, come on.
Usually the extras make sense. Like, No Way Jose has a load of friends, and Adam Rose was it Adam Rose? Yeah, the Rosebuds.
Yeah,
used to have loads of friends. They had parties, so that makes sense why they're there.
Right.
But these guys are just guys in gas. Why has he suddenly got friends? The first time they came out, I thought, okay, so someone's going to be posing as one of those guys. Like Seth Rollins is going to be one of those guys. Next week they did that. Now they're gone. It's like a
now he does.
We want to have like a surprise attack, so we need to have these guys come out.
That doesn't bother me as much because I'm thinking Dean's like cottoned on now. He's like, I can't hire any more guys to stand around in gas masks. Firstly, one of them could be Seth Rollins, and secondly, they all smell.
It's true. Okay, well, so between us, we actually really like this new Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Oh.
God. I just don't understand what the point of him getting all those shots before. Like that's kind of like when he put that promo in that doctor's office and he's getting a shot in his ass. Like, was that really necessary?
Well, again, I'm okay with it because it shows that he's like paranoid. He thinks that everyone's dirty. That's an actual thing. When you go crazy, sometimes you think that everything, like a germophobia kind of deal.
Right.
If you're paranoid about everything, I'm sure you'd have hesitations to show your ass on national television as someone sticks a needle in it.
I don't know. If I was a professional athlete, I think my ass would be pretty good.
God.
I don't care if my ass was good. I'm not saying that anyone else would be seeing it.
What if you were Bobby Lashley?
Oh, fucking hell. Is this the worst of show or what?
Yeah.
Or you're just reminding me of things that are pissing me off. Fucking look at his glutes. My name is Bobby Lashley.
Hey, Bobby.
See it?
This is my ass. Look at my ass. Big old ass. What's that smell?
Yeah, that talk about a gimmick that's getting like a worst of award. I feel that's
But
gotta
the
be
thing
one of
is,
them.
it wasn't even obvious it was his ass. He just like at first he bent forward, and I'm like, is he all right?
Which yeah. Which do you think is worse? Him like Lashley constantly mooning everybody, or his sisters?
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal coming back to Raw and doing his old peaceful Zen shtick again.
Yeah. At least the Lashley's sisters was one segment, one time, and the next week they realized it sucked.
Did they? No, they
Yeah,
didn't.
they've been making jokes
No,
about it.
no, they weren't 1 week. They did the thing where he was waffling on with Renee and like some movie production going on about having a bloody towel rammed down his throat or whatever.
Yeah,
and
but
then,
when they had the actual sisters,
and
like
then
that
the
first
following
one,
week,
that was bad. Yeah,
the actual ones came out. And it's like, what the hell are they doing? And then Sami Zayn came out and did an assault course with him.
oh yeah, that was bad too. God.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna change this sisters thing isn't working. Let's play to Lashley's strengths. Show us your ass.
They've been much quicker lately to admit when they've done something. Like the was it This Is Your Life with Bailey and Alexa? The next week after that, they said, "Okay, yeah, we're not doing that again." Like that was really bad.
With them kind of segments, I get worried that they're not actually aware that they were just poor. They just think that they're making fans happy because they're just finding things that fans have said online just to get a little pop.
Yeah.
And like, I can see Vince sitting there going, "Oh yeah, they'll love that," like sarcastically.
Nice.
Yeah, this is the worst stuff show.
Yeah.
Having you back, Beans, just made us very negative.
I didn't make us negative.
Oh, we've basically been like the White New Day since you've been gone. We've been so positive about everything.
The White New Day.
Oh my god.
We've been loving life since you've been gone. It's like everything.
My god.
We love WWE. We love putting smiles on faces. You come back and it's all just worst stuff.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I'm sat here in a nappy and I'm just gonna get something out of my crotch. 1 second.
Hey, I don't have one this week.
It's been a bit cold on my balls. That
to help the swelling go down.
After the surgery.
I can't believe he pulled out pancakes and just gave them to the crowd from his.
The worst thing is probably if they put the camera on the crowd, they were eating them.
Yeah.
I think I've missed the chance now, but just tell us again that you're wearing a nappy.
No.
Oh, god damn it! I was going to make a potty training joke. You're supposed to be putting the nappy on the kid, not you.
Yeah, but you got to like demonstrate.
Got to demonstrate. You got to show him what to do.
Yeah. You got to do it. It starts off with copying.
True.
Learn from that. Stinks in here.
Dean?
Yeah? Is that
His mask.
we're just bringing it full circle here?
Yeah.
Full circle.
All right.
I'm done now. That's as good as it gets.
I can't think of anything that was like considerably like the worst of from like SmackDown. It's just mostly Raw stuff.
Yeah.
hell, like, you know, Roman. I don't like.
I'm sure if it was a normal year, there'd be things in SmackDown. I think it's just that the focus is so much on Raw now.
Yeah. Like I don't like Roman Reigns that much, but like, goddamn, he got leukemia.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that happen. I mean, that's just unfortunate. So I mean, it's
The worst stuff on SmackDown is just kind of pointless or forgettable.
yeah, because
I don't know if it's ever that bad.
yeah, because they've prolonged like all the bad shit on Raw. If SmackDown has like a bad segment here and there, it's easily forgettable because they don't stretch it out from week to week to week. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, you're probably right. Nothing kind of springs to mind. I suppose there have been. I think there was like a match between like Lana and Zelina Vega or something. That was really bad.
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking at the beginning of the year they still had the brand pay-per-views as well?
Yeah.
Or was that already gone?
I think that was after WrestleMania, right?
When they changed it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I was just thinking that obviously, you know, SmackDown wasn't that poor. But for a lot of time, it was quite good, really. But I mean, you know, that might have been why there wasn't as much focus on it as well, because they were leading up to their own pay-per-views.
So yeah, Raw had Elimination Chamber and SmackDown had Fastlane, so they had one each this year or last year, and then it was straight back to dual branded.
Right. Well, that's that then.
All right.
Should we do some awards? I don't know if you guys have been thinking about this.
Yeah, for the last
I hope you have.
minute.
The last minute.
Sure.
There's going to be some really like obvious things that I'm going to forget that I should really nominate in these things.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that too. But that's why I'm hoping between the four of us we'll catch everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
Has anyone got a drum set?
That's about as best as I
Let's
can
go.
get
Let go.
the drum
Thought
roll
the
there.
cavalry were coming, to be honest.
With Andrew Luck. Sorry for. We were discussing football, American football, and how they show like the wackiest graphics for like teams and whatnot, and they showed like Andrew Luck of the Colts for whatever reason in this like colonial setting, and him as like the cavalry, I guess, and whatnot. It was ridiculous.
Having loads of footballs thrown at him.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Let's go with Wrestler of the Year. Who was the Wrestler of the Year this year?
Are we talking just WWE here?
I am, because I haven't watched enough of everything else. WWE and NXT.
I was gonna say, Wrestler of the Year would probably go to David Arquette for nearly dying in that death match.
Oh, God.
Why does that make him the best of the year?
I was just going to say.
He took a
Surely
fucking,
that makes him bad at it.
he took a glass shard to the neck and lived to tell about it.
You're the best wrestler in the world.
Congrats on not dying. Here, have an award. That's pretty much.
Best Wrestler of the Year goes to whoever has the most severe but non-fatal injury. I get it.
Yeah.
In that case, can we not just like nominate Becky Lynch for getting her face smashed in?
There you go.
I was going to say Tyson Kidd, but that was a few years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Wrestler of the Year probably has to go to Becky Lynch for just the heel turn and just being a badass. Pretty much.
I'm going to go different. I'm going to say Seth Rollins just because if you're saying Wrestler of the Year, I think if you look at the year consistently, if they didn't have Seth Rollins on half of them Raws doing matches that made at least some form of entertainment, I think there'd be in a hell of a lot more problem, and especially now, because
I'm nodding.
Position.
I had Seth Rollins because of exactly that. He's been basically the only high point of Raw, especially in ring. But it's really difficult if we're including NXT not to mention like Gargano and Ciampa.
No,
Maybe.
as soon as you said NXT, I'm thinking WWE are getting nothing here.
Yeah, right.
I'll probably pick every NXT option.
I think the only reason I could go for Rollins is that losing him now would be like devastating for Raw, whereas losing one of Gargano, Ciampa, Aleister Black, or Adam Cole, or any of the top level guys, they'd be all right. There's enough of other great talent there to keep them rolling.
The sad thing is like we all say these, but like if Rollins wasn't around on Raw, they still have got enough talent to do something. It's just no ability to book.
I don't know. There's not really any stars there.
Well, no, there isn't, but that's because of the booking. They have got people who could be the stars.
Yeah,
so...
that's the root problem, of course. But like, if they were to lose Rollins, what's your Raw WrestleMania main event?
As of
I
right
guess
now?
you keep Lesnar on.
As of right now?
It would
yeah. I mean, with
something...
the roster that you've got right now, what's your kind of top...
In all seriousness, if they didn't have Rollins to go in the main event of Mania, I probably would be working towards Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre.
I was going to say McIntyre.
About as good as you can get, I think.
Yeah. It's just
that would need a lot of build for both, because they both need to. I mean, Drew's on the right track, but Braun's just been derailed so much this year. It's.
Yeah. I guess they're going with Lesnar Rollins, and that's not a lot better, but God, at least they got that.
The thing is in that it's one of those, isn't it, where you know that you can, the crowd's going to be behind Rollins in it, and for a fact that they're more than capable of putting on the David v Goliath type match, and ultimately that's what you normally want at Mania, isn't it? The underdog going against the big. The big obstacle. So,
yeah, I just worry that the fans now are more willing to kind of shit on stuff than they've ever been, I think. And Seth Rollins, after that last Dean Ambrose match, like immediately, it doesn't matter how good he's been this year with Ziggler and everyone else. That match sucked, and everyone knew it. They got boring chants. No one cared about that match. And now they're doing it again. So I just worry that they're going to...
I feel bad in saying it, but all I ever see Dean Ambrose do is clothesline, punches, and headlocks, and a neck breaker. So I wasn't surprised, to be honest, because I didn't think there was much match structure at all. But
yeah, you're not wrong. They're going back to it now. They're not ending that feud yet. And I really worry that they're going to kill off Rollins' heat. And I also don't like that Triple H is now trying to fire Rollins up, being the puppet master.
You think maybe
trying to bring back the old...
You think maybe he'll backstab Rollins and then set it up for like a match at WrestleMania? If he can...
Again?
I don't know. I don't like the storyline that there's an authority figure trying to fire up one of the talent. Meanwhile, on SmackDown, Vince is doing the same thing to AJ.
I do wonder whether it's a thing to do some kind of... Well, let's put it this way. If I'm thinking on traditional Vince McMahon booking, this probably means that we're leading towards AJ Styles and Seth Rollins against Triple H and Vince.
God.
It's possible. It just seems like maybe the idea of having the McMahons in power again, shaking things up, means that they are going to just rile up all of the talent like this. One at a time, they're going to tell them that they used to be great and they suck now and they should bring out the animal, whatever that was.
Just wait until Stephanie gets in Randy Orton's face and wants no remorse.
No remorse.
Christ. My God.
We've been here before, people.
Yeah.
We have. Many times.
I thought we were in power anyway. They're not in power. We are.
Well, we're the authority.
We're exactly.
Did you not see my tweet to him saying about
They're just yeah.
What did you say?
Yeah.
that? I'm trying to remember what I put in it. I just said that seeing as we're in charge now, we all have a list of small demands, and I put NG Saudi agreement, start talking to CM Punk and work something out, and bring WrestleMania to the UK, and then I put hashtag under siege. Straight, I tagged them all in it. None of them replied. So we're not really in power. They're just ignoring me, the bastards. It's classed as an official written warning, that, Vince.
I forgot about.
Will, have you got a wrestler of the year?
Yeah, Will, do you have anything for wrestler of the year?
Well, Becky's the obvious choice. I'm going to throw in AJ Styles.
He's been great.
He's held the title for most of the year.
A main evented one pay-per-view.
Well, there is that. Stop ruining me choice.
No, I agree with you. He's definitely a bit. He's been the Rollins of SmackDown, hasn't he? Really?
Yeah, he's carried SmackDown for majority of the time. There are others that have helped, but yeah. But he's an outsider. I think Becky's probably the lead choice.
I like that both of you have gone for Becky, like without planning. I've just said wrestler of the year, and you've both gone for a woman. It's kind of cool. That is what they're going for. We didn't separate men and women's wrestler of the year. I would go for Becky because what she's doing right now is obviously working, but I think it's too late in the year. She spent too much of this year not doing anything. Whereas Rollins, AJ, all of the NXT guys, they like the whole year they've been great.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm going to say it should be that scenario, shouldn't it? Really, if momentum was kept and things was done properly, this time next year, you should be saying that was Becky Lynch's year.
If they can keep it going, then it will be.
But well, you think to Austin, do you know what I mean? Like you'd say in '97 that he was, at the end of '97, he was becoming, the guy, and you'd turn around and say '98 was his year, '99 was his year. You know what I mean? Like it was, but under this was
even
you're
thinking he won the Rumble that year, didn't he? He was at the top.
He was, but he never.
You still had Shawn.
Yeah, I mean, I think he only had like 2 title matches in the whole year, and obviously didn't win it till '98. So, but I mean, it's just one of them scenarios, isn't it?
True.
You think that now with Becky Lynch, you're thinking realistically, it wouldn't surprise me if it's all fizzled out in 3-4 months, just because of the way that they do things.
Yeah.
But not under her actions, if you know what I mean, because. There should be no. I mean, she's the biggest star in the company by a mile.
It's between her and Ronda.
And the crowd have obviously got her support more than Ronda, even though there's a respect for Ronda, I think. But...
Yeah, agreed.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do for Mania for all 3 of those women. And if Asuka's still the champion by then as well.
Can I just also point out, did anyone watch SmackDown where Charlotte got makeup done by Homer Simpson?
With the shotgun?
Yeah. As soon as she come on, I was like, whoa. Just like, damn, what the hell? Did you fall into the makeup table? It was a bit excessive.
I think there's a shot.
Did she have a sound horn?
There's a shot of it on what was it, like 2 weeks ago, I think? If not last week. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'll try to pull it up on Instagram here that they had.
It's just like one of them where you think, God, like when you remove that makeup, you'd need a crowbar. It was just there was so much makeup on her. It was like, what are you doing?
Seriously, yeah.
Really annoys me when people put makeup on when, to be honest, they don't need it.
Yeah, Charlotte's one of those people that doesn't need makeup.
Mm.
In my estimation.
Anyway, that's an argument about society, but there we go.
Fair enough.
All right, so we're split. We're split between Becky and Seth Rollins.
And AJ.
And AJ. AJ's also a good
He's more
shout.
of an outside choice, but yeah.
Maybe Becky versus Rollins at Mania then. It makes sense. The man versus the man.
They are actually teasing Becky versus Cena on Twitter. I seen a tweet the other day.
Yes, they are.
No, if that is, it's not the man versus the man. It's a man versus the man.
There you go. Yeah.
There was a report a couple of months ago that they were talking about introducing intergender matches again.
Oh God, it's
Sure.
so bad. Do that. Doesn't work.
I think it should be Becky Lynch versus John Cena in a hair versus hair match.
There you go. There's a shot on the stream now of Charlotte with the makeup and whatnot. It's very-
Yeah, I think what made it worse was the fact that when the camera panned to her, because she just turned up, didn't she, like to interrupt? Like she was so close to the side of the camera. I actually legitimately like pulled back. Like, what the fuck? But yeah. What other categories have we got?
What have we got next?
Next up, I've got Tag Team of the Year. This one's difficult.
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, New Day's been good. The Usos have been good. We had the Bludgeon Brothers for a little while. They were pretty dominant. The Revival, not. I don't think as good as they are. I don't think they've done enough. Who else is there?
I think
AOPP? No.
No. God, no.
If you're talking across WWE and NXT, I'd have to say Undisputed Era.
In terms of
That's what I've gone with. God damn it. Like, who else is there that's been on top and like consistently great?
in terms of gimmicks, I think AOPP gets the worst tag team.
Oh, God.
I don't think the Bar did you ever mention.
I was just going to say, if I had to go with WWE, it'd either be the Bar or the Usos.
Just because of the Mania.
Just because of the consistency of
Yeah.
performances, really. But
Yeah, those have disappeared for a little while, haven't they?
That's right. They had a bit of a disappearance, yeah. But then
where's Big Show?
Where is Big Show? Yeah, I think he's got another injury, I think.
Is he? Oh, well, that's another heel and face turn when he comes back.
There you go.
But yeah, Undisputed there was a good shout for tag team. I like that.
Okay.
An honourable mention to Mustache Mountain as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so good. And we'll see Heavy Machinery 2019, Year of Heavy Machinery. Just saying.
Steaks and weights, baby.
Stakes.
Yeah, I was concerned because when he said that, I looked, I was like, was that a steak? I don't know if it was like the style of the video, but
Yeah, it
I
looked like
thought,
a
what
pork
the hell
chop.
is... I didn't even know if it looked like food when I first saw it.
Speaking of that video, I think we should Raw on Monday might be a good time for it's the first live TV since that was announced.
Yeah.
So could be a good opportunity for not all of them, but some of them to finally debut. Lars Sullivan seems to have been debuting for about 10 years.
Yeah. He keeps.
But that's because he's on his way to WWE,
Yeah.
even though
Is
he's
he on
been there
very
for God
slow
knows how
watch?
many.
He keeps changing his webcam to make him look a little bit more fiercer. It looks like. Like, there's nothing more scary than being in a laggy 30 frames per second frame rate.
You're gonna love it when he comes out to the Gene Snitsky theme.
It wasn't my fault.
Yeah, and then say it wasn't his fault. And it'd be like, fucking hell, here we go.
Here we go again.
I think we kind of discussed this the other week, but you have been here, which of those new debutants, can't speak, are we looking forward to? Any?
Do you know what? Actually, I'm a bit dubious on them all. Only because Heavy Machinery, I've got to be honest, I've not seen them do anything. I haven't seen them wrestle, so I haven't got a clue what they're like. But I just heard the name Heavy Machinery, and now I'm thinking, but you've also got someone called the War Raiders.
Yeah.
Who was also called War Machine in. So it was just like, oh dear, it's a bit weird. But I can't say I was overly impressed with Lars in NXT.
No, I wasn't.
Nikki Cross might as well already be on the roster because she's been there before and been involved in numerous things. But I do find the character a bit grating at times. And who's the other one? Oh, we got EC3. What the hell is the video about with EC3? Why does he come into his house and strip?
I know.
And then look at the camera like, yeah.
Like, I wear my wrestling gear under my suit all day.
Yes, and it's the way he rips his pants off. Like, it looks like Batman from the 90s when you see his butt cheeks.
It's actually Bateman from about 5 years ago.
Just fuck it. I was like, what the hell? And his smile at the end, that he gives looks like he's just murdered someone. It looks like...
No, that's Patrick Bateman, not Derek Bateman.
Yeah.
I just want to know why he's in his splatter on his house. He takes his suit off. He's now ready to compete. Like, why?
Yeah. On his way to WWE, but first he'll have a match in his living room.
That whole intro would be a lot better if they used trouble, 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 trouble. I feel.
That would make me even more concerned, to be honest. Trouble, yeah, there is trouble. He's stripping in his house. What's he doing? To his theme music.
Yeah, why not?
His theme music goes off when he comes in through the door of his house.
Sure.
It's always the one, because whenever they do all of those little vignettes, he's always the one at the end as well. So when I skip through, I always catch him like whipping up all of his clothes, just like pulling his pants off and like, and then he gives me a little smirk at the end. Like, this guy.
That smirk, I'm telling you, there's something wrong with that man.
It really is.
It doesn't help that he's got the Donald Trump tan as well, like, you know. But it's like someone's been sat there calling him in with a bloody Sharpie. So yeah, that should be fun. But again, he's not really connected that well in NXT, I don't think either. So I think he'll do better on the main roster. But it depends what they go with for his character, innit? I mean,
I just worry they're not going to use him.
Yeah, true. And when they do, he's going to be stripping off.
Yeah. It took him a while to do anything with Elias. He was just hanging around for a few months.
Yeah,
He'll probably. I can honestly see EC3 winning about 6 months being Tyler Breeze's tag partner in Fashion Police.
Yeah. Actually, he would be much better off with Fandango. Those two were hilarious together on NXT.
Oh yeah, they were, yeah.
Yeah.
That was creepy.
Really creepy. Creepy Johnny Curtis.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Off the that Lacey Evans as well. But to be honest, I'm not really seeing her do much. But
she
also,
hasn't done much. She hasn't been there very long.
It's a bit of a strange character to do as well. So I'm not sure how that's going to go over with people. But it's different. So, I mean, that's at least, it's something. So we'll see.
Yeah.
she seems like a second coming of Charlotte. Like she could be a Charlotte Flair for like a different brand, like maybe Raw.
Mm.
She's got like the
probably
power of the punch, only without the.
Imagine they put
nuts.
Nikki on SmackDown. So.
Oh, Nikki, yeah. I thought you meant Nikki Bella for a second. I was like, they haven't used her in forever.
No, not Nikki Bella. Although WrestleMania's coming up, so the Bellas could be coming back. You never know.
And then go away again.
And then go away again. Smoot, did you give a tag team of the year?
I don't know who to give it to. I think the easiest pick would probably be the New Day. Especially after Big E, even though he was in a quote unquote nappy. He didn't apply Steiner math in a promo.
That was in 2019, though.
That is true.
Unfortunately, that doesn't count. Although it was taped last year.
It was taped last year.
This is true, but also I still struggle with the fact that he pulled pancakes out of his crotch and ate them.
I mean, they've got
threw them into the crowd, and you know that someone ate them.
Yeah, that's the scary thing. They got their own commentary table. They've had their own like commentating segments on the show and whatnot. Yeah, I think I would probably just give it to the New Day if I had to give an award.
Yeah, that's fair. Next up, I have Rookie of the Year. This one's difficult. This one's stolen straight from the Wrestling Observer. And I just thought it would be kind of interesting because it's so difficult to choose. Like, who is that new? Who has only been around for about a year? Stretched to 2, maybe.
If I were going to go on WWE, and I know it's not, I don't think it would come under this at all, but I would say Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been on the main roster for long, but
I mean, that's a potential. You know, you're thinking that's a good way to bring someone in and use them. You know, like he's feeling very relevant from the off, and you know, you're interested to see what they do with him next. So, but I know obviously he's been with the company for a while, and I wouldn't class him as a rookie as per se, but you know.
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm racking my brain on who's like new to the roster, or just to the company in general. Not even on the main roster.
What about Velveteen Dream? He's not. I mean, he's still a rookie, really.
Yeah, I would give it to him.
But I don't know how long he's been involved with us now.
If he counts as a rookie, he has to win it, I think. I've gone for Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
Because I think there's potential there. But, yeah, Velveteen Dream's really good.
I would give it to him, yeah. He's had some really good matches on NXT at the start of some of the specials, and yeah, I've heard a lot of positive things, so.
He's one that I always think I don't really care about. He's always in these like high-profile matches on the takeovers, and I think, I don't get it. But then I watch him, and every time he proves me wrong. Every time he's been great, and he's been wrestling these great guys. You know, it's kind of difficult not to have a great match with Johnny Gargano, but every time he ends up having very close to the match of the night. So, you know, can't deny it. He's going to be something.
It's that thing as well, isn't it? About just being different from everyone else. It's you can't help but watch him. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what's coming next with him, do you?
No. And he does it so well. There's a character that I'm sure we've seen loads of times. Like Orlando Jordan did something very similar, and it was so bad. It's so bad.
It's his charisma that's carried it completely. Yeah.
He obviously gets it. He knows what he's doing, and it really works.
Mm-hmm. I can't really think. I wanted to mention. I can't think of her name. I can picture her, but I can't think of her name. Oh God, she won the Mae Young. Toni Storm.
Toni Storm.
Couldn't think of her name.
That's another good choice.
I don't know if anyone's been keeping up with NXT UK, but she's been very good on that lately.
She kind of looks like Lacey Evans a little bit. I feel.
Yeah, a little bit.
I always confuse the two. I'm like, oh, that's Tony. No, that's Lacey. Never mind.
If we're going with Mae Young, then it seems a bit cheap to say Io Shirai because she's been around for a long time in Japan and has been great. So I think that's a bit of a cheat. Won't go with that.
Okay.
That's for next year. She'll be Wrestler of the Year next year. How about Match of the Year?
Oh, Jesus. I'm sure there's one or two.
That's one or two. That's definitely true.
I'm gonna go for one only because quite recently in my memory, so it kind of sticks out a bit. The women's TLC at TLC.
Yep.
So that was really good.
That was great. They had the last woman standing at Evolution 2. Also very
it's
good.
A good show. I mean, if you're including NXT in this, and I'm sorry, WWE doesn't get a shout in on it. I mean, my match that I don't know if it was. I think it was because I hadn't seen Ricochet that much. But Ricochet and Adam Cole, that totally blew me away.
Good.
Like the moonsault into the super kick and stuff, and it was just like, oh my god. So I mean, if we're going NXT, I know there's probably better NXT matches, really, but just because it kind of came out of nowhere, for me personally, I would give that one Match of the Year on my side.
Yeah.
God,
there's so many. Just about any takeover main event could win. There was Almas and Aleister Black, I think, wasn't there? There was a Black and Gargano. Gargano and Ciampa about 3 times.
Almas and Gargano. Yeah, Almas and Gargano was a good one. And also Black and Gargano, and the most recent one was really good as well. But I'm trying to think off main roster. That's really bad that I cannot think of.
I want to give a shout out to Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan. Like it wasn't that amazing match, but I was really entertained by it.
I was just gonna say it captured you. Yeah, you had to see it. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what.
AJ and Daniel Bryan have had a couple of good ones. I don't know that AJ and Samoa Joe ever really hit the levels that they should have.
No.
And Nakamura too. Styles Nakamura should have been a lot better than they were.
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing from Raw though. I've got nothing from the roster.
Do you know? I seem to remember that there was a good Randy Orton one, but I can't think who the hell he faced. And I might be totally wrong. I don't know why, but Randy Orton's like sticking in my head.
Are you just thinking of the Bray Wyatt House of Horrors?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's burned into my head completely, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm thinking like the Jeff Hardy thing at Hell in a Cell or something, but I wouldn't have classed it as Match of the Year. But
if we've got to pick one from Raw, I'd say the tag match at Mania, Rousey and Angle.
Do you know what? Actually, if I'm going to pick one from Raw, I'm going to go with that gauntlet match that was about 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, I'm looking up a list because I can't think of anything off the top of my head. And one of the matches from Raw is the gauntlet match that took like forever, like literally the entire first hour of the show.
Yeah. That's right.
They had more than that, weren't it? It was like nearly 2 hours, weren't it?
Maybe, yeah. It had like.
I'm sure they only had the third hour after it finished, and that were it.
Yeah, and it had like the mid-match interviews and whatnot and such.
Yeah.
It was just totally different. It was just. it drew you in more and more the longer it went on, just because it was like they really are going for this. Like I was watching it and I looked at the clock after I fast forwarded on one of the adverts, and I was like, this thing looks like it's going to go the whole 3 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like a bunch of like other matches, like Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler as contenders.
One of how many?
Yeah, exactly. Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins.
It's like these guys are good, and I'm sure those matches were good. But
Interchangeable.
I can't say that any of them was match of the year.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. But yeah, my pick would probably go to that gauntlet match.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. It's a different one. Match of the year. How about the event of the year? Is there a certain episode of Raw that you just really loved?
Crown Jewel.
I'm gonna go with the.
Gotta go with the greatest Royal Rumble.
I'll go you one better. I'll go with the 25th anniversary of Raw.
Oh God. Oh my God.
That bag of steaming, piling horse shit.
Yeah, that one actually really did smell. It's not a phantom smell. That sucked.
That's why Dean wasn't there.
Dean wasn't there.
That was the beginning of where Enzo was exiting the company. Because he was supposed to be, wasn't he supposed to be on the 25th anniversary, and then they realized that he lied about the whole sexual
Was it that
assault.
long ago?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was probably still trying to understand what the hell that Undertaker promo was about.
God.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, my pick for event of the year, I probably would pick Evolution.
Yeah.
That was a really good one. That felt like a show that it was just fun.
It was a
Those
house
lot of
show, but
people
it wasn't like that bad.
But the thing that got me and the whole, as soon as it came on, was, I don't know, people called it saying it was a house show look, but
Yeah.
the screens with the entranceway and everything, it was different to any other show.
I thought it looked great.
Yeah, exactly.
I really
it was
liked
just,
that it was-
I really digged it just because it was, it was brilliant. It just reminded me of the old days when you used to look for. I mean, I remember staying up late when I was a kid just to watch the first 5 minutes of every pay-per-view at 1 a.m, just because I wanted to see what the stage looked like before I went to bed.
Sets all look different. Yeah.
Everything was different. Armageddon, you had all like cars burned out and shit all
Yeah.
around the thing. And,
I love the swinging hooks at Backlash.
yeah, yeah.
They were sweet.
And like everything is Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-view. Nothing looks different. The only one that will is something in Saudi Arabia or WrestleMania.
Yeah. Or
Well,
the
yeah.
UK shows where they bring out a phone box and a taxi.
They don't
Did
do
they?
that anymore.
I was just going to say they didn't even do that. That's probably just in case they need to put another city across the top. They're learning, you see.
Yeah, didn't it come out after Evolution that it was the NXT producers who actually put it all together?
All right.
I think so.
Pretty
Weren't they
sure.
doing like
Yeah.
another house show somewhere that took priority?
Yeah.
So Triple H is basically in charge of doing the whole thing, and the whole NXT team did it all. Which you could, if you look back, you can kind of tell it feels like an NXT show.
But they had, I think, the benefit of only having like 1 or 2 matches from each. They have a load of different rosters, and they chose the best wrestlers on each one. So they had like the 2 or 3 best from SmackDown, best from Raw, best from NXT, best from UK. At the end of the Mae Young, they had Trish and Lita coming back from thing, and then everyone else just went into that Battle Royal.
Yeah.
So they had all of these matches that were as good as they could be. Everyone had time. Everyone had that enthusiasm to make it work. There was nothing. See, Raws and SmackDowns and pay-per-views they're just going through the motions. This one was different. Everyone wanted to make a statement on this one. It was much more fun than usual.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think I'll go with that one.
I have to go for Takeover New Orleans, though.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
shit! I forgot about NXT.
That'll be
You can't forget about NXT.
a good second.
Shout out for Takeover War Games, but so New Orleans. Let's see. I'm gonna dig up the card for you. This is the one that had the ladder match,
Match,
North American title. Adam Cole wins a ladder match. Shayna Baszler beat Ember Moon for the women's title. Undisputed Era beat the Authors of Pain and Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong obviously turned after the match or at the end of the match. Aleister Black, Cien Almas. That's big. And then Gargano Ciampa in an unsanctioned match.
Just when you said that, I was thinking back to Rookie of the Year, Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did she start?
She doesn't sound like she's been around for long.
She hasn't been enough, no.
But she's had a brilliant year.
She has, that's true. Towards the end of last year. Televised January 10th, 20. Yeah, she counts. And she might actually have to win. She's been great. Yeah, good shout. Any other events?
Greatest Royal Rumble, Crown Jewel.
Did we ever find out where Crown Jewel was?
Manchester.
Oh, in what was it? I don't know how you pronounce it. Riyadh?
Riyadh.
Riyadh, that's it.
Riyadh.
I thought it was in Crown Jewel myself.
It was in, yeah.
Yeah. That's what Hogan said anyway.
Speaking of which, not to get too sidetracked and whatnot, apparently Hogan's going to be on Raw. Just like
I know.
Yeah.
This week?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to pay tribute to what we haven't mentioned actually, but Mean Gene Okerlund passed away this week.
Yeah.
Obviously sad news, and obviously him and Hogan go back a long way. So I think it's probably fair that he at least does something to pay tribute to him.
See, I feel really bothered by it, and I know that there's probably good intentions by it, but I'm just thinking you can't help but feel that it's an easy way to stop the crowd booing Hogan and getting on TV.
Definitely, they're going to use this now, so he's back on Raw now. That's it. You can...
I just sit there and think: is there any time when there's bad news in real life that they do not try and take advantage of it?
Yeah, I honestly don't think that's what they're trying to do. But I
know.
Yeah.
It's just because of the past.
Yeah,
the reputation precedes them, doesn't it? It's just
exactly.
Like...
Yeah. No, I totally get what you're saying, but I think
And I hope as well that even though people might have a problem with it, that they don't lower themselves to that and make it obvious during the appearance. If it becomes something more than what it should be for Gene Okerlund, it's...
Yeah.
It'd be quite worrying if it turns into a boo fest if he comes out and...
I'm not sure what he could really do. I mean,
I know, I wondered that.
Apart from they're gonna do some sort of montage, aren't they? You can see that.
Well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
But what's he actually gonna do? Okay, he's gonna say a couple of nice words, maybe. But apart from that,
I tell you, he better not do what he did at Crown Jewel and just start going on about Hulkamania again. If that's how he decides to end it, I'll be booking a flight.
I think they did. There was a video. I think it's on the website somewhere. They did a 10-bell salute at the NXT tapings this weekend.
Oh wow!
Right.
So you kind of think they're probably going to do that again on Raw.
Oh, they have to. Yeah, I mean, he was a major figure and a staple of WWE.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
But they have like a video package for him. I wonder if they're gonna include the thing from his Hall of Fame speech where I think he quoted Bobby Knight saying that when he dies, I hope they is buried face down so that all his critics can kiss his ass.
I think they probably will.
I hope they do. That'd be great.
I hope they include the fuck it.
Who put that up there? $250 an hour.
Oh, what a legend.
Speaking of announcers, and it's probably a slight mention, I think Renee Young's done well this year. Probably not worthy of the Rookie of the Year. Or...
She gets
I think it's been the worst.
She gets an honorable mention.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's... She's not, don't get me wrong, she's not, being outstanding, but I think she's held her own on Monday night.
I think she's been terrible.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
Sexist.
Sure
Male chauvinistic pig.
No,
She was better than
sure it's
Coach.
not totally her fault because everyone sucks, and there's only everyone who sits next to Michael Cole seems to take a huge dip in performance. But
She's better
I
than
don't think
Coach.
she adds anything.
No?
Yeah,
I've got to be honest, in the last 2 months, the whole episode has just been I'm waiting for Renee, you must know something about Dean Ambrose.
Night Mention, that's the only thing I didn't really like, because...
Yeah.
You just feel like it's coming every time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here we go.
I'm waiting for her to choke out Corey at some point. He's gonna ask her 1-3 times, and she's just gonna put like a fucking rear naked choke on him.
That would be good, actually.
If you notice on the announcer's table a big jar of sweets at any point, you know what's coming.
Or what was the other one? Like a picture of iced tea?
Yeah. And then you'll worry because you'll see Corey just smash it over Renee's head, and he's like, I know what we're coming.
Yeah, that whole shtick's got to go somewhere.
Think so?
It just has to.
It does, because it smells.
I don't think they're clever.
God.
Oh, God, it smells.
Sorry.
It would be good if it did, but I don't think they're clever enough. I don't think they thought that far ahead.
No.
You can tell they haven't by the fact she's got to dodge the questions on live TV every week.
Yeah.
They should, before they even went into this, because it kind of happened around at the same time. The Ambrose thing kind of happened when she got the job on Raw.
Yeah.
There wasn't that much difference in time. They should have had that ready to go. That she had some sort of excuse ready. I'm not living with him right now or something like that, or something.
Yeah.
Just to say that, to explain. But you could literally see her, the cog spinning when she was getting asked the questions on Raw, trying to come up with some answer.
Yeah.
She wasn't ready for it at all.
I wonder if maybe Ambrose himself will probably get in Corey's face or something, like during a match or something. He comes out and then shouts.
I can see that happening. Yeah.
I want her to turn heel with him.
Yeah, that would also be great somehow. Call him Rob Van Winkle or something.
What?
What?
That's Vanilla Ice's real name, Rob Van Winkle.
Van Winkle, yeah, that's true.
All right. Okay.
I don't know why you would have to rename.
I mean, he looks ridiculous in some of those suits.
Oh, right.
Oh, God, yeah.
He looks like Bane, doesn't he? I mean, that's what they've gone for. Which I wouldn't mind if you actually played the Bane character, but then he just starts waffling on about smells and...
Not again, no.
I'm trying to think of what else he said since, because he has said some other stuff that's stupid.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Bizarre.
I'm looking for a video that was posted after Evolution of Renee Young and Beth Phoenix both, all of their reactions through the whole thing. condensed down of just them going, oh, 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 after every move. That's all they do.
And is Michael
was about
Cole
half
sat
an
in the
hour
middle?
long.
Is Michael Cole sat in the middle of them just frowning? I hope they threw a few oh my's in there.
Yeah,
Oh,
there was a few
my.
other kind of like, oh. Yeah, it was. Now it's all I can hear whenever I see her on the show. It's just, oh.
Yeah, I feel like they just add nothing. Pretty much going back to what you said,
Mm.
and they just I don't know. They need to do something with her, kind of coach her a little bit better. I think she's still kind of like coming out of her shell a little bit on commentary as of late, but
Oh yeah, definitely. You can see that.
But yeah, especially with the Ambrose angle, it's got to go somewhere. I feel.
I'm sure it'd help if they went back to a two-man booth. Not specifically a two-man booth. I'm not saying that it has to be Renee that goes. But get rid of Michael Cole. Just have Renee Young and Corey Graves. She would have to say more. What she says would have to kind of, add more.
Mm.
She can't just kind of be there saying, "Oh." Well, it would really help. Why do we need three-man booth?
I don't know.
What's
I honestly don't know.
Didn't we in 2018 have like an 11-man booth at one point?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I seem to remember we had like Miz and Maurice there. There was, we had loads of.
I can't remember what it was, but it was ridiculous.
Yeah, there was like 7 up there. Yeah.
Weren't there like the New Day or something as well around, and the bar and all that? Like it was something to do with the tag titles or something, and it was ridiculous. They pulled the camera back like when they do the talking bit to camera with the crowd in the background, and it was like bleeding hell. You need a wide angle lens.
Here it is. I got Let's see if that can send. We got Miz and Maurice there, along with the 3. No, it's 4. Oh, it was during that time. It was during that time when we had JBL, Morrow, and David Otunga. But then we had
Tom Phillips.
Phillips just hanging out on the end.
Yeah.
Who would just kind of, I don't know, he was like the host of SmackDown or something.
Yeah, what the fuck was the point of that?
They would throw to him just after break, just for a little bit, and then he would just disappear again.
Yeah.
He's even got a look on his face of, why am I here?
Yeah.
And Otunga's looking at Corbin going, you'd look so much better in a suit and shave your head. And I think Maurice has also got the hots for Baron Corbin.
Well, she's the one.
And Miz is definitely seducing the cameraman.
TBR just said something offensive.
Yeah,
all right, let's get through these.
Tomorrow. Look at tomorrow. Shut up, John.
Right, Smoot wants to watch the football, doesn't he? So let's try and get through these quick ones. What's that?
Have we got any left?
Yeah, I was just saying, what's left?
I've got some, like, let's do these quick fire.
Okay.
Feud of the year.
Creative versus the fans.
That's the feud of every year.
I've got Gargano Ciampa versus I don't know. Mojo Rawley.
All right.
Just really came back for a little while.
Creative versus Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt.
What was the actual award?
Feud of the year.
Feud of the year.
Becky Charlotte.
What should have been feud of the year was Bryan and Miz.
Yeah. Well.
Started off okay.
Not Rockstar Spud. Drake Maverick and Bobby Roode's Robe.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. it was definitely not Daniel Bryan, Big Cass.
Oh,
God. No.
No. Has anyone got anything other than Gargano Ciampa?
Let's go with Becky Charlotte.
Becky Charlotte's not a bad one.
That's a pretty good
yeah, that's a good rivalry. Yeah.
Okay. Most improved. Any ideas for most improved?
one.
Becky kind of fits in here too.
Yeah.
Not that she's like any better now than she was, but she's doing something so much better.
Yeah.
I've also got Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, I would go with Becky Lynch. I'm trying to think of anybody else that's had like a pretty good comeuppance of a year. I'm not coming up with anything.
No.
Certainly isn't Aiden English.
God no. He's gone down this year.
Yeah, that's exactly what we all worried would happen.
Oh, I don't even know if he's gone down because I haven't seen him.
Where he
I
is.
mean, he tried to like make up an affair with him and Lana, and that's
in
the last,
Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee of all places, yeah. And that's the last that we've seen him.
Honorable mention for Elias.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, that's not bad. And also, I would
Sure.
consider giving it to Miz as well, actually.
Oh, Miz wins the most improved every year, and he still sucks.
No, what I'm thinking is now it's not. He doesn't get X-Pac heat like he used to.
Yeah.
He's actually on the verge of being a fairly decent face.
We'll see. He's going to be the best tag team in the world with Shane.
Oh.
Most improved. I had someone else in mind as well. Not that he's actually better, but the improvement in his second run compared to first, it has to be Drew McIntyre.
There we go. Yeah.
Obviously, the improvement has actually been, happening while he was away, but he came back and he's a totally different guy.
Yeah.
Ziggler would have had a shout as well if it had been a few months ago.
Yeah, they've been able to keep that up. Best on promos. Who's the best talker?
Elias.
Elias.
Nia Jax.
Screaming now.
Yeah. If not, because Elias had that one promo with Kevin Owens, I believe, and they made fun of the Seattle Supersonics.
That is.
Oh yeah.
Dumb.
Becky again, possibly with some of the zingers and whatnot. I feel. She keeps picking at Corey on Twitter as well.
Combining two awards there, most improved on the mic, I'd say Ronda Rousey.
I
She's
don't
got a
know.
lot
She still
better.
sounds weird to me.
Yeah,
She's still a bit
she's trying to go highbrow with her promos. I feel with the big words.
She's still a bit wooden, but I think she's got a lot better compared to where she was.
Yeah.
True.
I'm giving it to Samoa Joe myself.
Cheers. I just think of him in that bar and just.
Yeah. God. This public service announcement about enjoying alcohol responsibly.
Yeah.
I just think he's. I don't know. I think it was a couple of years ago now, but we would praise Dean Ambrose for being able to make the crap scripts sound a little less crap.
Yeah.
And Samoa Joe is doing that this year.
Yeah.
Somehow he makes the worst lines actually sound kind of threatening and badass.
And he had that book. He had that book with AJ Styles and whatnot when he was terrorizing him and his family.
Right. No one other than Eddie Guerrero can make that work.
Yeah.
And he
I agree with Samoa Joe on the best promo, but also as a consideration for most improved promo, I would say Daniel Bryan.
Oh, the new Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
He's great.
Fickle.
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 What kind of car do you drive?
Count the sins. Yeah.
Lots
Lots of good options there.
I think Samoa Joe definitely wins best promo that involves a mailbox.
That's my mailbox.
That's my house, Paige. Paige, that's my house. That's my
Is
mailbox.
that my damn house?
Styles on it. Ah, that's great.
Hold on a minute, Joe. Hold on. Now hang on. To my mailbox.
That never went anywhere, sadly. They never did like a follow-up of like, what did he do inside?
Did he
Paige's
ring the
house?
doorbell?
That was just it, yeah. Ring the doorbell. Good night, everybody. See you next week.
Drove a truck into the front of the house to end the episode.
Yeah.
That's what they would have done in the Attitude Era, and it just would have gone off air. And then for an entire week, you'd be going, "Oh my God, he killed his family."
That would make me want to watch next week.
Exactly.
Him just ringing the doorbell to give the kid a doll? Not so much. Not exactly a cliffhanger, gotta admit.
I did like how it went to black, though, as soon as it rang the doorbell. Like, it was quite cool. For the PG era, I'll give them that.
I'm also... I don't know if I'm glad or a little disappointed that no one mentioned Paul Heyman.
Crying.
Because he seemed like the obvious choice to me, but I like that we have some other options.
I just when you said it, though, I straight away thought of that promo where he was crying.
Which is good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was amazing. When Brock turned his back on him, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, yeah.
That is probably one of the better promos of the year by a mile.
It might well be.
I think it's because he
Okay,
hasn't been a prominent figure this week. Or not this week, this year.
Yeah. But he does deliver every time. I don't know if he's ever had a bad one.
I think that's it. His standards are so high, though.
Yeah.
A victim of his own success.
Let's finish with over and underrated. Who's the most overrated?
Nia Jax.
Nia Jax is good. Yeah.
The Backwoodsman magazine.
I don't watch the show, Paul.
You read that issue and you weren't impressed?
Now go get me a steak, you dickhead.
Oh, God. Most overrated, huh?
Yeah. I mean, are we allowed to say Roman Reigns, or is that mean-spirited now?
Oh, Jesus.
No,
Because,
not
I mean, he is. I can't pretend that he wasn't pushed a lot harder than he should have been.
The one thing I will say, though, about Roman Reigns and everything, because I know I've not been on the show since it's all kind of happened, the sheer fact that the guy has battled it previously, and for the last, 4 years, he's been hated by the crowd.
Because they didn't know.
Exactly. And it's like, for a company that will utilize everything possible to obtain the reactions that they want, I've got to, hands down, just give him credit for the fact that whether they knew and he didn't let them, or whether he kept it secret from even them, I don't know.
Sure he would have had to have, with all the medicals they go through.
Yeah, you'd think it. So I really do have to, because it could have been such an easy out to get that reaction.
I totally agree. It's so unlike them not to use something so easy. But having said that, the credit ends now, because if and when he comes back, they have used it now.
Yeah.
Like that cat is out of the bag. You can't pretend that he isn't a cancer survivor.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, all the credit for not doing it so far, but
yeah, and then it kind of went out the window when Dean started saying that he's going to have to answer to God.
That was weird.
Complete morons.
Wow. Most overrated, I've gone for the McMahon family. Because
Sure
I don't see what they add. I don't know why they're there.
I would go with Baron Corbin as GM.
Yeah. Even though the whole storyline is that he was not underrated, but he was rated very lowly. He did a terrible job. Everyone wanted him gone. But the faith that they had in him to put him there, yeah, I do agree.
So you mean, it's basically what you're saying, underrated, Raw, literally.
The ratings are down. They are under what they should be. Yeah.
They certainly are. Not what they should be. They are what they should be.
Well, yeah. they reflect exactly what they... Yeah. Fair point.
If I had to go with like a match, maybe, it would probably be Shawn Michaels Triple H against the Brothers of Destruction.
Oh god.
Shawn Michaels and HBK, yeah.
Shawn Michaels.
Apparently they are two different things now. One's got hair and one hasn't.
Depends whether or not he's got the cowboy hat on.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I can't believe that in 2018 Shawn Michaels came back to the ring, and I do not give a toss.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is so wrong.
And he demasked Kane in that match as well.
He also landed on his fucking face.
That too.
Thanks, Undertaker, for catching me. No problem.
You think of all the people you could do a moonsault onto, you think Taker and Kane are about as reliable as you could be. Like, who else would you aim for? Like Mark Henry? That's about it.
It's true, yeah.
Still face.
The Undertaker, the conscience of WWE. And then Shawn going up to him backstage going, have I done something wrong to you? Damn, man. Picture perfect moonsault.
It looked great until, anyone got anything more controversial for overrated? Anyone think that maybe AJ Styles isn't as phenomenal as he says he is? Maybe Rey Mysterio doesn't have it anymore?
What about Braun Strowman?
Nah.
Yeah.
They had something, and they've meddled with it now, and they want it back how it was, and it isn't.
Yeah, that's a fair way of putting it. I would say he's overrated. I think it's more.
It's been tampered.
Most drop the ball, I feel. Because I think he was in position of winning the title, and he hasn't won it yet, and they're kind of.
Yeah.
I guess letting him recoup and reheal from that elbow surgery and whatnot.
My other one for overrated, Dean Ambrose.
Sure, go for it.
Yeah, sure.
Germophobic Dean Ambrose.
I mean, like, you know that I've not really been that fond of him anyway, and he's frustrating me. But then when he had the new look, and then he came back, and he was like Triple H version 2, and it was like, it was like, oh, this is interesting. I'm hoping that they're going to do something a bit different, and I don't have to watch him do that stupid fucking clothesline off the side of the ropes whenever he gets a bit. And let's lose the lunatic fringe element of his character and just make him a psycho like Drew McIntyre is, and instead
give him
he's
a John Watson coat.
Yeah, now he's just. They literally gave him the Bane jacket and put a gas mask on him. I mean. And when Vince saw it, he didn't think, oh, one of the coolest villains in a comic book world. Yeah, we'll use all them kind of attributes. No, he's wearing a mask, so everything must smell.
Goddamn, pal, have you ever seen Bad Santa?
He stinks.
How old is Bad Santa now? When did that come out?
It's at least 10 years old.
Yeah.
At least 10 years old.
It's 15 years old. There you go.
Jesus.
That's where Vince is. Charlotte Flair, I'm throwing it out there.
Oh,
she can have great matches, but I think most of the time her promos are terrible.
Yeah.
And outside the big match thing, I don't really care.
I've really, and this is going to sound controversial, she's gone downhill in my estimation since she's had enhancements.
Jesus.
It greatly
Are you
concerns me in all of her matches because they're huge.
Are you saying that she's heavier now, Beans? Is that what you're implying?
No, I think
Are
she
you
might.
being sexist?
I think no. I think she's lighter. She's got more helium in them. I mean,
Pardon?
it greatly concerns me especially the fact that she was injured in this area for a rupture.
Yeah.
And she comes back and thinks that bigger is better.
No, I get what you're saying.
And I was just seriously, ever since she's come back, I've watched them and I'm like, I don't even like. I'm not attracted to it, but I can't stop looking at it because it's just it doesn't move. It's solid. It's like
I totally agree. Being terrified of what could go wrong when Becky landed right on them.
Yeah.
In that TLC match.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that.
Sat
yeah.
right on them from the top of a ladder.
She literally bounced.
Yeah, she bounced up. Okay, and let's finish off on a positive with the most underrated.
Finn Balor.
Oh.
Oh, Finn Balor's good. He's getting a little push now. It's about time.
Do you know what? I'd be tempted to say Finn Balor overrated.
Oh,
Really?
that's controversial.
Just purely because I'm just not interested. I know that everyone sees him as a great wrestler and he has had great wrestling matches, but because the character's so stale and I'm fed up of his grin face.
I don't like it. Yeah.
He turns me off. It's the Dean Ambrose effect. I really would fast forward through his match and he might have the best match on the night, and it's like, but he's always got the plaudits with the fans. And the way it's going at the moment, he's not doing anything. He needs to do something. And I know that there's limits with creative booking, but just the way he carries himself at the moment frustrates me.
Are you saying that the Balor Club isn't for everyone?
No, the Balor Club is for everyone. I just revoke my membership.
Oh no!
But I can go back anytime.
I guess so.
Most underrated. I would say the fans asking questions during Alexa Bliss segments, where she's interviewing Sasha and Bailey.
You really had to crowbar that one in there.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Felt like that was a talking point you really wanted to get.
Yeah. Most underrated, the whereabouts of Dr. Shelby.
Sure. We need. Yeah, that's a question that needs answering.
I'm going to say
change
one.
into a different therapist.
Give that to the Fashion Files cold case unit. Okay.
I'm going to say one that I know Chucks is probably going to agree with as soon as I say it.
Yeah.
Chad Gable.
Oh, that's what I've got written down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad Gable's the one. No doubt.
Yeah. Deserves so much more.
And most overrated, Jason Jordan. Funny how that happens.
What's happening with him? I mean, I know that he was injured, and I believe it was quite a serious injury. Is he actually going to be able to return, or is this actually potentially it for him?
I think potentially is
the last
word.
If it is it for Jason Jordan, then why the hell is he in the tap out ad?
Because they've not filmed a new one yet.
I was just going to say because they don't plan to film another one.
Fair enough.
I think the answer is it was a neck injury before. Apparently the surgery was good, but they seem to just be really taking their time. He's been
well, it was around
training
WrestleMania time they were hoping that he could come back, and you're like, we're talking 2019 now.
Yeah.
He's been gone nearly a year.
Don't know exactly what the answer is, but he's apparently training up to be a producer backstage.
Oh God.
We will see.
You won't see him come back to the ring, but in one of them segments where you spot Dean Malenko and
Joey Mercury says the problem.
yeah, he'd be next to Jamie Noble, trying to hold someone back rather pathetically.
Most underrated, Heath Slater as a referee.
He'll probably be pulling back Kurt Angle, going, "Calm down, Dad."
Oh my god. Oh.
Have we got worst angle of the year on yet?
Yeah, seriously. There's a lot of candidates.
Jason Jordan is the worst angle of the year. There you go.
Ah,
And on that note,
Nice.
is that it?
I think that's it.
Alrighty. Beans, thank you very much for joining us.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you
It's
gonna
been
be
nice to. Feels like old days again.
Yes.
It's all good.
Yeah, so you're gonna be here next week?
I hope so. Yeah.
I hope
I
so
was
too.
gonna say, is you done now for a few weeks or?
let me check with my advocate. I'll have a word with Bradley. He was asking about it. So, he's nominated himself.
All right, sure. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for us. We'll be back next week to probably is Royal Rumble coming up shortly?
Later this month.
It's the end of the month.
Three weeks away, I think, isn't it?
Next week. That's my voice then. Next week, we will on the night that we're on, it will just be finishing when we're starting NXT UK Takeover.
Oh, jeez, wow.
We'll just be finishing as we're starting the show.
All right.
I imagine. It's on at 8 o'clock UK time, so
Alrighty.
it's in Blackpool.
Wow. It's feels weird to have another pay-per-view that's in our time zone.
I know.
It's almost as if they're like, trying to test the waters for WrestleMania over there or something.
Yeah,
That's maybe the greatest WrestleMania.
Yeah, one of those events that doesn't make money, according to Triple
News.
H.
News to me.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll be back next week. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you then. Good night, everybody.
Bye.